Hey guys, this is Dr. Cindy with another exciting video for you and your family and friends. Today we're going to talk about a health challenge called vertigo. And if you've gone through vertigo or you know someone who has, it can be a very scary experience, very terrifying. And we're going to talk about natural ways to handle vertigo. If you're watching for the first time, my name is Dr. Cindy. I'm a practicing doctor of chiropractic. It's been over 20 years. I've done over 300,000 adjustments. Our office, we've won multiple awards, including Top Chiropractor in Mississauga, Peel Region, because we are obsessed with helping our patients naturally get better by working with the spine, by working with the nerve system so they can have great health naturally. And we're blessed to serve our patients, and that really is the vision of our office, is to help as many people as possible naturally by working with the body, by focusing on the spine, by focusing on the nerve system. And I have to tell you, even after 20 years of being in practice and helping so many people, I still get amazed. I still get so fascinated how you can work with the body, take care of the body, specifically the nerve system and the spine, and the body actually will respond. It'll actually start to heal and repair itself because the brain and the nerve system, as you already know, is the master system of the body. It coordinates all the functions. It coordinates breathing, digestion, elimination. It controls our muscle groups. It controls everything in the body. It's literally how the brain speaks to the body is through the nerve system. And for it to work in harmony, in peace, at optimal functional levels, we need to have a spine in alignment. It needs to be taken care of. And gentle specific chiropractic is amazing. It's amazing when we get the body back into alignment. You know, I'm going to say something. When the body gets back in alignment and we see these things happen, we can sit back and we're grateful and we call it a miracle. But if you think about it, when we restore that, we're actually bringing the body back to where it should be. You should be healthy. You should be full of vitality. There shouldn't be pain in the body. The more we have that alignment in the spine, the more the spine is working the way it should without any blockage, without interference, you will experience that higher level of health, a true level of health, the way you should be feeling, and it's natural. And of course, yes, sometimes we need drugs and surgeries and they can be life-saving, and I understand that, but it's amazing how much we can do with the body naturally by working with the nerve system. We were born with this powerful internet in the body, this powerful computer system, and all we need to do is make sure there's no pressure on it and the body can work at a higher level. And it's amazing when that happens. So for today's episode, we're going to get into vertigo. So let's talk about it. Vertigo, how is it different than dizziness? Dizziness is going to be more mild. If you talk to someone, they might say things like they feel lightheaded, they feel like, they're not balanced. I would say on a spectrum, it's on the milder side. Vertigo is severe. And again, if you're watching this and if you've gone through it or you know someone who has, what makes it distinct is that it's usually quite strong. And then you'll see almost like a spinning sensation. So there's times where maybe the person feels like they're spinning, the room is spinning, but the key component you'll usually hear is like a spinning type sensation. And again, much more severe. You can have additional symptoms, including nausea, vomiting, a huge sense of disorientation. And again, even within vertigo, it can be mild for a few seconds. It can last much longer. So there's a whole spectrum even within vertigo. Now, as I shared this video with you, there are different causes for dizziness and dizzy spells and the spinning. So as I make this video, I'm assuming that maybe you've gone to the doctor, you've gone through all the tests, and the doctor says, yes, you have vertigo. They weighed out other things. So what could be causing that? Now, let's step back for a second. Why does even someone get to that stage? I will tell you, in my office, I've had quite a few patients where we were able to help them, but when we got their history, there was a common theme where when they got up from their bed in the morning, usually they felt a spinning sensation, or at some point they were sleeping and they turned their head a certain way or they shifted in a certain way, but they got up from the bed and they suddenly had this sensation come to them. And again, it can be very, very scary if you talk to people who've had that. So I would say the way you sleep definitely can affect it, whether there's a pillow, there's not a pillow. If it pushes on any of those nerves, if something moves in the wrong way, it can cause that type of sensation. What else can cause it? As always, I would say a lot of the patients we see with spinal misalignments or health issues, stress is a big one. So if you are chronically under stress or you suddenly get exposed to a high level of stress, depending on where there's weakness in the spine, it can show up. And for this conversation, if there's too much stress and you already have some misalignment or a weakness at the top part of the spine, which I'll get into, that can trigger that response. So stress can affect it. Using a computer, which, let's be honest, who doesn't these days? Computers, smartphones, things like that. And I actually, when I was doing my research for this video, I came across a term called cyber sickness. And this is a new term I've never heard of, but this is using the computer and it's causing eye strain, nausea, dizziness, and headaches. And in extreme cases, it can even cause vertigo. I think cyber sickness is something, unfortunately, we're going to see more in the future. Technology, I still think it's a positive, but when we're using it constantly, like, when kids go to school, they use it, they come home, they play with the computer, they talk to their friends. Like, there's not a time, and I'm saying students, all of us are using our computers all the time. So I think we're going to see, unfortunately, more cyber sickness. I thought that was a very interesting term that's been developed. Another thing that can cause it as well is head trauma. So if there's some kind of blow to the head, an injury, something like that, that can cause problems as well. And let's jump into it. I know sometimes people have come to me and the doctors might mention about like crystals in the ear, and different theories like that. So I'm going to come more from a neurological perspective, from a chiropractic perspective, and how I got to tell you now, when people come in with balance issues or vertigo issues, I consider it a challenge and something I know I can really make a difference because I've just seen it so many times now. So there are different nerves in the body. Now, the one we're going to talk about today is called cranial nerve number 8, which is the vestibular cochlear nerve, which is a long word. So what does that really mean? The vestibular cochlear nerve, what that is, there's a nerve that is connecting the balance system in your ear, and from there those nerve endings go into something called your brainstem. Your brainstem is sitting right below the skull, very, very powerful area, and this is literally like the top of the spinal cord feeding into the brain. So when we're healthy and there's no pressure here, the signals can come freely from the ear, from that balance system, that inner ear, and work its way through cranial nerve number 8, and it's sending information to this beautiful computer, which is your brain. But if there's a misalignment, let's say those vertebrae shift at the top area, and specifically, there could be other areas, but I'm going to say C1 really has a huge impact on the brainstem. If that's shifted, compressing, irritating, twisting, whatever term you want to use, showing that there's a shift over here, it can cause different symptoms, but it can potentially affect that highway, that pathway between your balance system in your ear and the brain. And that fuzzy signal, that signal that's not as strong, can show up maybe as a milder version as dizziness, maybe occasional headaches and such, but it can also cause things like vertigo. And I've seen it so many times when this area is addressed at the top and it's balanced, it can really help someone on that road to recovery and help them deal with dizziness and vertigo. So to me, in my world, when I see an interference here, a misalignment at the top, and someone presents with dizziness, vertigo, and those things like that, that makes sense to me. Even any pressure here can cause nausea, vomiting, and things like that. So I would think logically that, as I said, the brain is a powerful computer. It's just trying to send messages to all the organs, all the muscles. It's trying to control everything. That let it do its job. Let's make sure there's no pressure, no interference, which is the core concept in chiropractic. Let's make sure the vertebrae are all aligned. And as we do that, that can only help with balance issues. And what's interesting, that same nerve is also connected to the ear, the inner ear, and things like that, your hearing. So obviously, if this is taken care of, it can also help with hearing challenges, hearing issues, if that nerve is involved. And it might be, even when I use that term, so I guess an extreme situation would be someone who's deaf. And if there's nerve damage, obviously, that's too far gone. But let's say there's pressure here and someone's just kind of like, I can hear, but it's like muffled. Or I've had patients tell me they feel like they're underwater or they feel plugged in the ear. It just doesn't feel right. That should also be something that should be addressed. If we can align that system, it's only going to help. It's only going to help. And let's even be more detailed. There might be someone where they have compression, someone might have nerve damage, but I would still believe, like, let's see what we can do to help that. And as much as we can, every time you're aligning that, what's going to happen? This is going to help with brain function. We're talking like your focus, your mood, your sleep, all sitting at that level, and of course your balance system. So if you look at it from that perspective, this is such an amazing system, and the way we were designed, the engineering behind it is amazing. And all we're doing in chiropractic is saying, let's align that. We may need other, professionals to help, but if, man, we can align this and see those changes. And I've seen this in my clinic with the people with the balance issues, with the vertigo. We've helped them consistently because we work on that top area, aligning it. The system is able to get the information it needs. That's all we're doing. We're getting a clear signal. The strongest Wi-Fi signal possible is what chiropractic is all about. And when that happens, the body knows what to do. It knows how to heal. It knows how to correct it. It's like, I got this situation. I just needed a clear signal. I guess it would be like if someone's driving on a highway and it's littered with all these different objects, they can get through. It may take longer. It's not as efficient. But if there's a clear highway and there's no obstacles blocking it and there's a clear signal, the brain, the balance system, and I mean, that's just the beginning of it. All these other systems just work better by having a proper alignment. So I hope that made sense. And if you're listening to this, I would say to you that if something made sense in this video, you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up. Please, your comments are appreciated. And the next thing I would say as well is that if you have a general question, I know sometimes we'll get a phone call to our office and say, hey, have you seen this? Do you think my case is unique? Do you think you can help? Call us with any questions you have. And then if you're ready to take the next step, I would encourage you to book a spinal checkup. It's a 7-point spinal checkup. So there's certain tests we do. We have a very special software that looks at the nerve system, how it's functioning. And then based on that, we will tell you if we can help you or not. One thing I pride myself on, we're blessed. We get a lot of referrals and we help a lot of people, but we start with a consultation. We start with a spinal checkup. We're very thorough because if I see everything is making sense, I know I can help that person. And if we go through the testing and it's not chiropractic, it's something else, we'll try to find another professional who can help that person. And I'm going to leave with this final thought. You might be watching this video as well and telling yourself, like, it just happens once in a while. I get dizzy. I get vertigo once in a while. I want you to watch these videos, and if I can convey one concept with you, I want you to raise your standards. I meet patients who are like, yeah, I'm good. I'm in pain. I lose my balance, but it's once in a while. It's once a month. It's once a week. You have to start telling yourself that is unacceptable. Why are you going to go throughout this life and just manage and just cope? Or like, I talk to someone, they're like, yeah, I just throw up once in a while. I get indigestion once in a while. Like, I understand if it's like once a year, I understand. But if something keeps showing up week to week, month to month, first of all, there's a good chance it'll probably get worse. It's easier to help in the beginning. But even if it never got worse, is that the kind of life you want? Do you deserve that? Does your family deserve that? And even I talk to people and it's so interesting. We try to sweep it under the rug and they're like, yeah, it doesn't bother me that much. I can do everything. I'm doing great at work. Honestly, you're probably not. You could probably do way better. Imagine, I know for myself, when I don't feel 100% to be there for my family, to do anything, it's hard. How can you give it 100% when you don't feel 100%? And even if you're managing, imagine how much things would be better if you felt better. Because I know when I've had a health issue or something's bothering me, it's always in the back of your mind and it's hard to give 100%. So let's raise that standard. Let's have the best quality of life possible. Let's get a healthy nerve system and let's live naturally. Let's live the way the body was designed to be, without interference, without pressure on the nerve system, which is the master computer system, the master internet of the body. Let's take that pressure off. Let's work with it naturally. Now, let's not tell us these stories like I'm getting old or I'm supposed to get sick and this is the way it's supposed to be. And sometimes I have younger, people who are like, oh, I'm in my 30s. I guess I'm getting old. That doesn't make sense. I mean, what does that mean? No, because if you're feeling like that when you're 30s, what's going to happen in your 40s and 50s? Let's have a good life. Let's work with the body and let's start to honor it. Let's really start taking care of the nerve system, the brain system that's controlling everything, and really have a good quality of life. There is solutions out there. There's natural ways to deal with things. So let's go for it. Let's, again, take care of the body, raise your standards. You deserve the best life. You deserve the best. And when you're the best, you're going to help your family. You're going to help where you work, your charity organization, wherever you are. You will be the best version of yourself. And then you can have an amazing life, look back and say, man, that was awesome. So God bless you. If you have any questions, call, text us, 905-896-3393, 905-896-3393. Have a beautiful day, and God bless you.